Oh,
a great
shit,
game.
I remember that game.
I know.
Um,
Sparkster, Street Fighter.
there is there's a rumor. There's a data miner has got a rumor. I don't know if you've got it in here. I don't see it. So I'll go ahead.
John
and at least
hasn't
put it in mine.
updated the document yet because he's lazy.
Oh,
He doesn't do anything.
Oh my god.
I've been editing 338 still, but whatever.
Oh, so you weren't even looking.
No.
Did you ever play? I think you have played this. You talked to me about this. Did you ever play Super Caesar's Palace?
I played the shit out of that because my mom loved that game. She bought it for herself, and I played it.
It's just
This is what got you into gambling.
Super Nintendo gambling. That's awesome.
Yeah, basically. That is one of the.
Are you eating pizza rolls?
Yes,
Oh, man, I want some.
I know.
pepperoni and bacon
That's
Bacon.
makes the house smell really good.
Ooh.
But Super Caesar's Palace is compatible with the SNES mouse.
Oh yeah, you talked about that. Anyway, I'm just having a good time getting all this
any
figured out.
hoodles.
I'm just
I played a game specifically so I would have something to talk about on the podcast.
Nice.
Oh,
I did homework.
can we like what it fuck, I gotta update the doc.
Okay, that was a lot of sounds.
I just can't. I've been busy.
So have I, but not in the same way.
Oh, okay. That's ominous.
Uh,
Are you getting busy? Is that what you're saying?
no, the exact opposite.
Fuck. Oh, I'm done downloading games now. I deleted my list I had.
Yeah, there's a news article from today about NES Online. I'll get into it more during the podcast.
I didn't realize that there was a Page Master SNES game,
Yes, there was.
and B that the people on this website, because I'm looking at like list of like best SNES games, 6 people have rated it above a 9 to get it pushed up towards the top of the rankings. So I'll have to try that one out. All right, let me get the doc open. So wait, you updated 338, so I'm gonna go to 339 and make a new one and then copy everything over.
Okay.
Yeah, I put my game in that 338 too.
Just because this is easier for me to remember what I've done. All right, so we haven't talked about any of these things. I guess I got another thing I watched. We talked about that last week.
Did you guys watch that Bandersnatch yet? Or whatever it is?
No,
I did.
Not yet. It just seems like a lot of work. It's like
I haven't watched any of Black Mirror, let
Gotta
alone
make this-
Bandersnatch.
I watched Black Mirror Bang the Snatch.
I watched. I think I've watched. No, I haven't watched all of the Black Mirror. I have only seen a couple of the newest season. But yeah,
I've just been watching more game shows because they have Idiot Test on there, Emo Genius, Minute to Win It.
oh, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I love
Nice.
game shows.
Are they old, like vintage game shows?
No. Emo Genius is and an Idiot Test are both from GSN around 2014, 2015.
Oh, okay.
Minute to Win It is after Apollo Ono took over hosting duties from Flavortown guy.
Save this for the podcast. What are you doing?
Yeah, this is gold.
I didn't think it
no,
was interesting enough.
I used to always. I used to watch Game Show Network for like the 1970s and 80s game shows that they reran. I was like hooked on that for a couple of years.
Depending on my mood, I love game shows throughout the decades. Well, I'll talk more about the podcast because we can just make this a whole game show corner.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, I have a sound for that. So we're good.
Bum, 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 bum.
That's the one.
Wow.
I just need to make sure I know where it is so that I can hit it at a moment's notice. Oh man, remember when we used to do cookie clicker updates? I can get rid of that.
Wait, Pokemon Let's Go is on sale. I just bought that for full price. Oh, on eBay for $54. That's not really on sale.
Not really.
It's barely on sale, especially because I'm sure I have to pay for shipping.
Wait, so you got Let's Go and Smash?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
I had a gift card.
I have 2 save files on Let's Go. One with my daughter and one for myself.
Do Switches ever go on sale?
No.
Damn
No.
it.
Sometimes with gift card, sometimes with a game installed.
Oh
Never
yeah,
on sale.
that I could if it had a game included, I'd be more inclined to get one.
You missed the holiday Mario Kart bundles. This Mario Kart will never go on sale.
Except for it was on sale like last week.
I want a Breath of the Wild
Really?
bundle.
Yeah, it was $47.99. Digital. They had it on sale on the Switch.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're really pushing digital though lately.
They are.
Part of the reason why, if you want physical copies, I mean, I'm out of the place where I necessitate pre-orders for everything. But if you want physical Nintendo games day one, you got to get the pre-order in wherever you're going to go, especially for good ones.
There's a Fortnite Switch bundle for $524.
Ooh, I should.
There's a $400 Mario Odyssey bundle. That's the Switch in gray, the Pro controller, Mario Odyssey, and a bunch of other shit I don't recognize. Controller stands, maybe?
You got a picture?
I
Wait, what was it?
It's on
Like Amazon?
Walmart.com.
Walmart?
It looks like just a plastic piece that you can put your Joy-Cons into and stand them straight up.
That comes with the system. That's the grip, controller grip.
Okay.
Is that one of the direct from Walmart or from one of the third parties? Because I hate the Walmart website.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably third party. Probably like a drop shipper.
Wait, you're talking the 409? The 409.99?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. It's got silicone grips for the screen. It's got a basic screen protector. I think that's a 4 Joy-Con charging dock. That's what it looks like.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I forgot you have to charge those.
Yeah, but you can just put it on the system and plug it in, or put it on the system, put it on the dock.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get a Switch at some point. Maybe I can get a used one somewhere. That would be... Maybe that's hoping too much.
Yeah.
They're not that much cheaper used, though. I'll tell you that straight out. I mean, there is the Mario Tennis Aces and 1-2 Switch bundle for $360
Wait, so how much... Switch games are like $60, right?
for the good
That's
ones.
every game.
And the bundles... Or the system's $300?
Yeah.
Because there's a bundle of the system plus the Zelda Breath of the Wild for $392. And I don't know why it would be that much. Unless if this is just some third party thing trying to scalp it.
Or a special
dum-dums.
edition version of the game. I don't know.
Are you a special edition? I don't know. I can't tell from the picture.
Maybe it comes with like a... Oh, it comes with a case and a screen protector. I guarantee it. Carrying case. Those were good pizza rolls. I just had 24 of them.
Nice.
Man, I need to get some junk food like that. For when I'm like craving something fast food adjacent instead of just like actually going to a fast food restaurant, it's a lot cheaper to just have something frozen I can microwave.
Yeah.
I need to just have that on hand.
Yeah.
Or tater tots. Did you know that tater tots are a registered trademark name or something? It's not
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
I learned that from HQ Trivia the other day.
I haven't played HQ in forever.
All right, boys. Are we ready to go?
Yeah, let's just do this.
Well, I gotta get levels first, but then we'll go.
Yeah.
I'll put our beautiful faces on while you get levels.
Yep.
I'll wave.
Switching over to Twitch.
I should probably center myself instead of moving my phone.
All right. All right, here John is at the distance and level of volume that he's going to be. Matt?
Hey, it's Matt.
Fuck me. I woke up this morning.
And you got yourself a gun.
What?
It's the what is that? The Sopranos opening or something? I don't know. I just know it from the Homer Simpson parody of it. Woke up this morning.
Wait, you know it from the Homer Simpson parody more than the actual real thing?
Yeah, I never watched the other thing.
All right. TJ, can you talk again, please?
Yeah, now that you've turned me down, is this a little better?
Seems
Also
a little
not-
quiet to me.
Now that I'm not eating pizza rolls?
No, it sounds good now.
Okay.
Okay.
It may sound quieter in your ears, but on the feed it sounds leveled.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, cool. Cool. Let me get my notes.
What is this sound?
Oh,
Hello?
do I have more notes? I need a different notepad because I don't want to write.
I think I got that one when I was looking for something that was like a breaking news sound effect, and that was the closest thing I could find. I gotta do some maintenance on the soundboard and delete stuff that I don't use anymore and look for new
Garbage.
stuff.
Ah!
True dat girl.
Sorry, I hit my mic. I need to have my notes over here. Byte 339. All right, I'm ready to start. Let me just. This fucking having this pop screen is nice, but it is
In the way?
harder. It's in the way of my eyes if I don't position it right. So I
Work
can't see
it
what's on the
harder,
screen.
make it better, do
Okay,
it
ready.
faster, makes it stronger.
All right, let me just make sure I didn't change my volume too much.
Did you? Why would you change your volume like that, you jerk?
Okay.
Why is my sister's name Rose? Because your mother loves roses. Oh, thanks. No problem, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
All right, let's get started. All right, ready. Welcome to Born in the 80s. I'm your host, John Danger Rowe, joined by my co-hosts.
Guaranteed Twitch affiliate Matt Danger Hag.
I don't see the affiliate link, though, right
They're
now.
processing my tax information, I guess.
Okay.
I got it the same day. So got it the same day. Subs get snapped. That's TJ May of May.
Where's
May,
my
May.
Snapchat link?
I like the idea that your nickname is May of May, so it's TJ May of May.
Yeah, May of May.
TJ May
With the
May
May
of May
corners.
May.
May of May. Just search for May of May. That's the snap. I now did it publicly, so now I have nothing to give my subs anymore.
Subs get snaps. No one
Except
gets
for-
my Snapchat.
Little taste, but that'll be too hot for Twitch.
Yeah, but I don't know
But-
enough about Snapchat. Do you have to like accept people's friend requests or whatever for them to
Yeah.
see your stuff, right?
Yeah, but
Even
like,
for the ones that are like my story or
no,
I mean, there's-
I don't think so. Like, you can
Story-
do a public thing.
Yeah, you can do it public or you can do it just to friends.
Just
Or
to
I think-
lovers.
I think you can set up groups too.
Like a tiered, like a.
Yep, that's great. That's
I'm
a nice
already
story.
I'm already Snapchat friends with you.
Yeah.
I like how.
All right,
sorry.
I'm gonna open up Snapchat too. I want to be cool.
I like how that we are getting into Snapchat
That means it's done.
as it's over.
Yes,
We're the
it's ending.
cause, and we're both a cause and a symptom of Snapchat dying.
Snapchat is dead. Subs get Snapchat. I'm recording myself right now during the podcast.
I'm gonna become.
Snapchat.
I'm gonna
is
live
what's
on the
happening.
air right now. I'm gonna download TikTok. So I'm current. I'm hip. Tick. Oh, they spelled it without C's. That's hip.
Yep, TIKTOK. Well, the thing is, and you know, one thing that's really interesting, I think, is that people seem to. Well, not people seem to, but like it's one thing you don't understand. That's a bad way of wording as well. But the reason why everything has weird shortened names like that is because everything's already taken as a name.
Yeah, if
So
you
you
want to
have to,
like
like-
trademark it, you have to do a unique
Yep.
spelling. Like TikTok was probably a turn of the century clock company.
I'm sure. So I'm just looking through the news, trying to see what's going on here.
I got a news.
What's the news?
Have you heard about this?
Have you heard
Yeah.
about this?
Have you heard about this?
6 new anime series to watch this winter. Polygon.com.
Yeah, but what
Polycom.com.
could be good this winter anyway?
Nothing good so
It
far.
ending.
Oh yeah,
That's
that
true.
snowstorm was pretty brutal.
It's been a real tropical. It's El Nino this year, I think, but still, it's like
That's Spanish for
remember
the Nino.
remember
The
when
Niño.
we had snow and like winter?
Yeah, not anymore.
Nah, we got rid of that.
Yeah.
Well, our parents' generation did.
Well, it's 20
Mostly.
degrees out. Where's global warming, man? What's the news?
So someone has done some data mining.
I am excited to hear about this.
Okay, someone has done some data mining on the Switch for their NES Online service.
Yes.
So we all know
Which
that
I don't have.
for all intents and purposes, Virtual Console is dead. It's
Yes.
gone, unless you've got a Wii U or a 3DS.
Which I have both.
Yep. And for SNES, just Wii U or new model 3DS.
Thank
But
you.
Cappuccino Heck, spelled like cappuccino but with a K at the beginning,
Sure.
over on Twitter, has actually done some data mining and found a list of games that are in there for 2019 that are not NES titles.
Okay.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, he's found 22 SNES games in the data.
Ooh.
And we hear 22 and we're thinking, oh yeah, that's just the SNES Classic again. And they added one more. But while there is a lot of overlap with the SNES Classic, there's a couple of weird ones in this thing too.
Okay.
Like Stunt Race FX,
Okay.
Breath of Fire 2, which is a really good
Oh, I
RPG.
love the Breath of Fire games. I think
Uh,
I can't
go
remember
ahead.
if I played one or two. Whichever one was on Super Nintendo. That's one I
Both
played.
of them.
Those two.
1 and 2.
Well, was one translated or
I thought one was, or at least I
Okay.
played it. In
Legally.
ways legally, yeah. There's
Hey, I got a follower. It showed up on the thing. Thank you. Snap, snap, snap.
nice.
Oh god, now you need to get the Snapchat up there.
This is just going to completely ruin the podcast portion of it.
A couple of the weird ones that weren't on the SNES Classic. Poppin' Twinbee. I've not really played a lot of any of the Twinbee games.
I don't
but
even know what that is.
whatever. Super Soccer. Not Mega Man Soccer. Demon's Crest. Was Kirby's Dream Land 3 on the SNES Classic?
No.
I know Superstar was. but
Just
Dreamland,
Superstar and Dream Course.
Dreamland 3 is on here. Was Super Ghouls and Ghosts on there?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, that one's on here as well.
So there's definitely SNES games coming.
But one of the ones that should have been on the SNES Classic that was not, that I'm super excited for,
Super Mario World.
Pilot Wings. How is Pilot Wings not on the SNES Classic?
Because it's not a good game, but
I don't care. I love it. I love it
I
better
like
than
it
Pilot Wings
too.
64.
What'd you say?
I love it better than Pilot Wings 64.
I like Pilot 164 because there was kind of a weird open worldy type game where you could just explore.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah,
And the last one that's not on
yep.
the SNES Classic was The Legend of the Mystical Ninja.
Oh, I loved that game. I played the shit out
that's
of that.
really good. So this list looks like this list looks a lot like the SNES Classic, but
Yeah.
removed the Square games.
Oh yeah, I see almost no licensed games other than Ghouls and Ghosts and Contra.
Well, that's wrong. They're Capcom ones basically only. We have
Yeah.
Contra 3, Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
No Konami. There's no Konami here.
Probably
Either.
not because Konami
No
wanted
Mega
too
Mans.
much money. I'm sure.
Yeah. No Mega Mans.
But that's cool though. Like I'm glad that they're gonna have Super Nintendo stuff on there. I will get Nintendo Switch Online when the SNES stuff comes out. And they also or TJ wants to play online.
Okay.
Smash.
Yeah.
And then it's only $20, so it's not like a huge amount. So if I have
Exactly.
a reason to use it, I will.
Talk to me after the podcast. I might be able to do something. Just,
No, I can
And-
pay for it.
I have a family account. We're
I
only
know,
using 4 of them. I
You
get up
get
to
how
8.
many?
Wink.
No. TJ.
Yeah.
I consider you part of my family. Part of the Byte family.
And you're part of my family as far as Netflix is concerned.
You're also
Yeah.
saying that there's a couple extra enigmas here down at the bottom. The person who Cappuccino Heck found 4 emulator types, which they've determined Kachi Kachi, which is the NES Classic, Canoe, which they assume is the SNES Classic, and then there are 2 other supposed emulators that are coming as well. So one could assume N64 because
Yeah.
they've done N64s.
Will they have to
I don't
release
think-
like a special controller for that?
No.
They probably still will, just to cash in on it. I mean,
Yeah,
of course.
with
to get the weird
controllers.
thumbstick and
Of course.
I guess you could remap that stuff pretty easily.
Mhm.
Yeah, they've been doing it on a 4-button forever, just using the right joystick for the C buttons.
Yeah. But what else do you think there would be?
I know what I want, but I know it won't happen. I
DS?
want classic Game Boy on there.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah,
haven't had
that's probably right. They'll probably have Game Boy on there.
Game Boy Color, we haven't seen on a console. Well, I guess we kind of have.
Yeah, we had Super Game Boy.
No, no, I'm talking
No, I
about
meant-
a
meant-
virtual console.
Not through Virtual Console.
Oh
they
yeah,
only
yeah,
did-
yeah.
They only did Game Boy Advance and DS on the Wii U, but they didn't do Game Boy Classic.
Yes.
Especially because the Nintendo 3DS, I've said this a few times to a lot of different people, would be the ultimate Dragon Quest console, at least for Dragon Quests 1 through 9, if they would just release the Game Boy Color versions of Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 and Dragon Warrior 3, the Game Boy Color versions, on their Virtual Console. They have not done it. They've done all the other stupid stuff, but not those games. Because 4, 5, and 6 had DS re-releases, 7 and 8 had 3DS re-releases. And the 9's already a DS game.
I want them to release Game Boy games, but it's a special emulator within the Super Nintendo emulator that you have to plug in. But then you get all the weird. It's only the black and white, like the original Game Boy games, but then you get all the weird color changing options that you had in the Super Game Boy.
Like the ones for Donkey Kong Land.
Yeah, it was just like
Don't-
you have like 4 color shades, and you get to pick your theme. Mine is blues.
Donkey Kong Land 1, 2, and 3 were nigh unplayable on any Game Boy hardware other than the Super Game Boy. Because it really needed the Oh. That's who followed you. I didn't hear what you said earlier. That's one of my guys from my GameStop chat.
I'm just really riding your coattails on this whole Twitch thing,
Yeah.
TJ.
Can we Can we talk about the most
Kevin?
2019 sentence or the most 2019 news article already has happened in January?
Okay, go ahead.
Fortnite YouTuber dabs for 10 hours makes $2,000.
Nice.
That's it.
Dabs for
Yep.
10 hours, $2,000. That's
Is it one continuous dab or repeated dabs?
One continuous dab.
Okay, not even like
So
a flossing.
I don't know if
break?
you've heard of
boring.
this game. It's called Fortnite, but it's
Oh
all
yeah,
one
Will
word.
Smith told me about that.
So in a recent patch, there is a infinite dab animation, like emote, that lasts for 10 hours. And you can do it in the lobby while you're waiting to connect to games. So a guy logged in and just did dabbing.
Oh, so just his character, not himself.
Correct.
So that's like
Boring.
so many memes. That's including like the YouTube 10-hour meme.
Dab. I still think that half the reason dab got popular is because you hide your face when you do it, so you don't have to deal with when people take that picture. You don't have the evidence. That's not me. It's someone else. He's got your face shape. It wasn't me.
And then you're Shaggy.
So there's some pretty cool stuff about this. I'm not going to read. So maybe this is why 2019 will be better than 2018. So, I don't understand what's happening here because I'm not going to watch the video because I don't want to get cancer. But the Fortnite emote says that there's a patch that says dab for days with this new emoting power of the infinite dab in the lobby. Lasts 10 hours. But then later in this article, it says Luke the Notable calculates his DPH, which is dabs per hour, at around 7,200, meaning his character, ignoring some animation hiccups, dabbed around 72,000 times during the 10-hour stream. So maybe it's your character just auto is dabbing.
Is it alternate dabs? Maybe
I'm not watching, so we'll never know.
we'll never know.
But anyway, over the 10-hour stream, he got $2,000 in donations from people. But here's the maybe 2019 won't be hell part. What he did with the $2,000 that was donated during his stream is that he went on YouTube Gaming and found a bunch of people that were streaming and then just donated the $2,000.
Sounds like a
random
commie to
streamers.
me.
So he was just spreading the wealth back out around the rest of the community.
Trickling it down.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is 2019 is the end of the monarchy of money. We're going to take it all down through
We're gonna
dabbing.
Mr. Robot through Twitch. Wait,
He
man.
also says
Season 4 of Mr. Robot's gonna be weird when he's just a Twitch streamer that dabs a lot.
Yeah. He also says, please don't do this. If you do it correctly, at the end of the 10 hours, literally nothing happens. I don't really want to hear about you guys messing yourself up trying to do what I did. I broke my headphones. So he may have been dabbing along with it. I really don't want to click this.
I want to
It's
know
gonna
if
go
he
right-
was like manually like doing continuous key presses for 10 hours.
I mean, that's probably what it was. Maybe. No, but it says it's a 10. Oh, fuck. I'm not looking up any of this anymore. I don't give enough of a shit. I specifically have a word filter in Twitter to remove any posts that have the word Fortnite in them. There's a
dab.
There's a period when like Fortnite was literally every fucking article on every gaming site, and it would, because I follow the gaming sites on Twitter, it would just constantly be like, Fortnite does this weird thing. This and I'm like,
Fortnite is
don't-
making our children rude at dinner tables.
I know, and it's like I do not give a shit. Like, good for them for this game. It's not for me. Anyway,
Did anything ever happen with that? The not crediting people for the dances that they included,
I think
or were
that's
they
still
just like,
going on.
nah, we're fine?
It's
Ah!
I think it's multiple legal battles at this point. You keep hitting your pop filter, don't you?
I keep
Because that's interesting. Because like that could set some weird precedences if you
Guys.
can like copyright dances.
Guys, I'm an old person now.
Yeah.
I typed in Fortnite, spelling ignite NIGHT.
I just did that
And
like
I'm
a
like,
minute
oh,
ago.
Fortnite dance lawsuit.
Fortnite.
So I don't think it's
more
actually
like
like
Fartnite.
I don't think it's actually like gotten very
I
far
shouldn't
right now.
laugh at that. That was not deserved.
So I'm of a lot of minds on this Fortnite lawsuit. It's really weird. Like, because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they definitely are making money off of already popularized works, basically. Specifically, the one that comes to mind the most is the Carlton, because it's named after a character from Fresh Prince. The guy, Alfonso Ribeiro,
Yep.
Ribeiro,
Whatever his name is.
specifically talks about how he made up the dance basically on the spot when they were filming. You know, so when you watch the animation, you're thinking of that like animated GIF. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this is 100%. It's not like they're like, there's nothing changed.
But could that be
and-
should that be like classified under parody?
I know
'Cause
it's a weird thing.
I don't know. It's,
It wouldn't be so weird if Fortnite wasn't specifically making $800 billion off of this.
yeah.
And they weren't selling these like emotes that were based on something for Fortnite bucks
I hope
specifically.
One
Like
day.
if it was something you unlocked, whatever, but like you can pay money to get this dance, and the guy who invented it doesn't get like a cut. Because like YouTube, I put a MIDI cover of some fucking Michael Jackson song, and then immediately EMI is like, "Oh, we'll get my cut of that." Automatically. And it's like,
yeah. Which is another whole problem.
there's got to be something here. And I think honestly the outcome of this lawsuit from the people that filed it is that they want to have it settled out of court for just a lump sum.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, that
just
sounds
hand
right.
me a little bit.
I
And then
hope
maybe
that
if
we
you're gonna
see
do
a
this-
day this year where MC Hammer sues World of Warcraft.
Why is that?
Because the orc dance was the hammer time dance.
you're
That
right.
side shuffling thing.
So that's a really interesting thing because like what the case they'll have to do about the copyright is someone someone spending money for something you created. Whereas at least in World of Warcraft they can say the dances are part of the game, but they're not extra, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's just
But
big part
then
of it.
like I don't know, where does it I don't want to get
I
off
know.
slippery slope.
Yeah.
But if you create a character who like if there's a TV character that has like the Ministry of Silly Walks from Monty Python, if you create a character that does those, they're not dances, but they're like a recognizable way
Yeah.
of moving.
Oh, no, for sure. Like it's a thing that is really difficult to quantify, and it's going to be we'll see. Like and it does not necessarily like suck. I'm not trying to like say that these people, these actual like stars that invented these dances shouldn't like get a cut because Fortnite's doing so well, you know what I mean? But it also does feel like yet another cultural appropriation that was done without any thought. Like it's one thing, and so specifically they bring up in this article I'm reading on Billboard.com. 3 lawsuits have been filed against Epic over the game, including one on behalf of Anita Red, mother of I don't know, some guy. Horning. I love it when an article references a name that they mentioned earlier and then only use the last name. Russell Horning, the backpack kid, if you will.
Oh, the floss
who's
kid.
He's under 18, so his mother
But did
claimed that floss was included in the game without her son's permission and no compensation. That's a really interesting one because like that kid made that dance up. Like that is very not, you know what I mean? Like that's not something you can say, oh, it's just some moves. I mean, it's very specific motion. And I mean, I'm sure he's gotten compensated for it because he was in, a bunch of Katy Perry music videos and, and the funny thing about that is I believe that even this guy was at like celebrity Fortnite events as well. So it's like, you kind of been a part of this. It's not like they did this without you knowing about it fully. But who knows? Honestly, the copyright law is so fucked up and stupid that I don't think there's any way around figuring out what this is going to be. Like, I don't know. I don't want to be the judge that has to try and figure this out, or the jury that has to
Yeah.
try and decide.
Like
what does this mean?
dabbing originated in hip hop, so
Mm-hmm.
if it's even the 10-hour dabber will
But, like,
feel the wrath of this.
the idea is like, okay, a dab is I feel like there's got to be like, okay, how many specific moves does it have to be a dance? Because dab is literally
Yeah.
just moving your arms. It's not like any footwork or anything either. But then again,
Yeah.
I guess flossing is the same. It's moving your arms and your hips. So there's a little bit of both there. But
I'm looking forward to the day when like choreographers have to be brought in for legal
Yeah.
testimony on
yeah,
how derivative is this dance.
but like planking. Who
Oh,
invented
God.
planking? Like, where is that? I want to get my due. The thing is it's really hard because it's like I don't think you can copyright. Oh, here we go. Well, dance routines can be copyrighted. A single, simple, or common move cannot be. U.S. Oh, this is actually
So
been
like a
updated
dab
recently.
is a single move.
Yes. In fact, the U.S. Copyright Office issued a guidance in 2017 saying that you cannot register short dance routine consisting of only a few movements or steps with minor linear or spatial variations, even if a routine is novel or distinctive. So that would pretty much, I think, throw out flossing. Because that's like one thing. The Carlton, I don't know. Like, he's going around a bunch. Like, there's
Yeah.
a lot of moves to
And
that.
there's everybody knows like the back and forth thing, but there's like a B section to that dance, right?
Yeah,
I
possibly.
think so. Yeah.
I think there
But
is.
is that in the emote? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are they only using part of it? So here is other among the moves that would not qualify under the rule are a set of movements whereby a group of people spell out letters with their arms, yoga positions, and other and
So
celebratory
they're
end.
specifically calling out YMCA.
Yeah, and a celebratory end zone dance move, dabbing, lots of these other dances, or athletic victory gesture. I mean, that's pretty much cut and dry against them being able to do that. What I hope is that Fortnite can say, hey, I don't think you guys have legal standing, but we'll give you guys some sort of like co-sponsorship. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, something.
At the
'Cause
very
this-
least, like with the ones that have a definite origin, they should just like mention the original,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
originator's name.
Give him
to
some
give them
props,
some,
man.
Yeah, give them some exposure, and I don't know. The money stuff seems a lot more murky. I don't really want to figure out how that would work.
Yeah.
But just like if I invented a dance and something with several million players used it, I would be pretty happy with a shout out.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's just kind of one of those things. It's a really, really messed up. And I don't really see a correct or an incorrect side on that one. So, yeah, that's still going right now. I'm sure it will be settled out of court because speaking of Fortnite, speaking of Epic Games, Epic is fucking blowing it up right now with the Epic Games launcher.
Yeah.
Their Steam
Yeah, they are.
competitor. What's the free game this week or these 2 weeks?
Oh, I don't remember.
What
It's,
remains of Gilbert Grape?
Yep. What's
What's
wrong
eating
with Bob?
Edith
What
Finch?
about Bob?
What about Barb?
Wow, we got that very correct. So there's a couple of huge things. So Steam has been around forever. Steam is like the number one, by a large margin,
Yep.
online gaming store. They do a 70-30 cut with people that put their games on Steam. You get 70, they get 30. And for that, they provide developer tools. They provide forums for your game, a community hub. They provide patching solutions. They provide Steam Workshop support for mods. And by the way, Steam Workshop is the best fucking thing in the world for mods because
Yeah, it's
the way
pretty
you had to
rad.
install mods before was
Yeah.
awful. And so just being able to have like an updated downloadable mod patch. This is all this stuff that they do.
External
Sales.
achievement support.
Achievement support, cards, lots of just random ass shit. In-game currency and economy items like the PUBG hats and whatnot.
Yep.
All that crap, they'll help handle for you. For the 30%. But I think a lot of people, and that's a standard industry cut. So like if you look at the App Store for Google, App Store for Apple, they do 70-30 as well. But people haven't been happy. And Epic, when they launched their store, said, you're going to be able to get 88%. We're only going to take a 12% cut. So that kind of blew up. They had a lot of games that were flocking to that. For instance, the new Supergiant game, Hades. Creators of Bastion and Transistor and was it Pyre? Yeah, was the other game. And they're like, we're coming to to the Epic Game Store. And so a lot of things are coming to the Epic Game Store. I actually have it up right now. Let's see what's exclusive right now, because Jackbox Party Pack will be free after Edith Finch, so that's pretty cool. The first one.
That's still cool.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I'd play that.
Yeah, so Subnautica is there. The new game, Rebel Galaxy. The new Rebel Galaxy game is exclusive. I think Outer Wilds was coming exclusively. Satisfactory, which I think is by the Coffee Stain student. I forget what else they made. They made something else.
Oh, yeah, I saw the trailer for Satisfactory. That looks freaking awesome.
It looks really cool. It's like a factory building game. Like a Minecraft, but way more complicated with factory.
Yep.
Yeah, so that sounds really cool. Because it's like really, and the graphics are really neat. So they're having a lot of like indie-ish titles starting to flock to them because they're like, hey, you get, and it's more than that. They're saying they get, if you come to the Unreal or the Epic Game Store, we only take a 12% cut, and if you're using Unreal Engine, we won't take any of the fees for that, the licensing fees. So it's like pretty crazy.
That's a good trump card that they can play.
Yeah,
that's
correct.
something
And
Steam
so,
can't do.
And so recently, Ubisoft has decided that they're going to be releasing games on
Unreal instead of Unity?
Unreal or on Epic instead of Steam. So Division 2 will not be on Steam. And probably future Ubisoft games. Kind of a weird thing.
Yeah. Especially because they've got the Uplay still.
Yes.
But
and
maybe
it's a weird thing
Epic.
because when you download a game on Steam, it just launches the Uplay launcher, and then you play the game through that.
Okay.
So
Might still be the same way in Epic.
correct, but
It's gonna be a
they're
different
also
place to download it.
correct, but they're also only getting a 12% cut instead of a 30%. You know what I mean? Like, so I understand why.
Yeah. I need somebody to create like a wrapper program where I can just open that and it'll have like my Steam library and my Epic Games library and my Twitch library.
I think doesn't Discord do that now?
Maybe? I don't know. I haven't played with that in Discord.
That would be great.
Yeah, I think there is one.
Even on on Steam, I know I've not imported, but I've said, hey, open up this program from inside Steam, and you
if you have a game you bought separately, you can add it to your Steam library.
You can add it to Steam as a launch, as launch it.
Even you can even do something stupid like Microsoft Word. You could have open up from Steam.
Correct, and you can have. We used to play around with that on Steam with our with games. Is that you can just make like any words.exe and then just play it, and then it'll say so and so has started playing like your mom sucks.exe or something.
Yep.
So it's like you could do fun stuff with like that. But so yeah, it's pretty cool. Couple thoughts I have about this. So there's a lot of stuff against
John Rowe reacts.
a lot of the goodwill that Steam has built up over the years of being like just an incredibly useful platform, a place that gamers flock to, has kind of eroded for developers. That's a reaction to the discoverability being difficult on Steam, or perceived to be more difficult. I think I want to say it's kind of bullshit. I'm talking to you, indie developers. It's not just that nobody is going on Steam and not being able to find your title because there's like all these 1,000 crapware games that get put on there by stuff. That stuff generally gets filtered low. The reason why people aren't buying your games is because there are a fuck ton of indie games now.
Yeah.
Like the indie
It's
games.
the same thing I deal
market-
with on like Spotify. Like there's just so much music out there.
The marketplace has exploded in the last 5 years. So the discoverability on Steam hasn't gotten worse. It's that the market itself has gotten worse. And I'm going to say this to you developers that are listening, which is none, but if you are a developer, the reason why your game isn't being purchased on Steam isn't because people can't search and find it in Steam. Is that it's your game either isn't good enough or you didn't market it well enough. Because the market is so tight right now with so many games and so many options, you have to stand out somehow in either a great marketing campaign or a really unique game.
You have to dab for 10 hours.
You have to dab or pay a YouTuber to dab for 10 hours and then have your game show up. And that's just it. And the panacea of the Epic Games Store of being like, oh man, I can get on there. It's like when that has 8,000 indie games on it too, no one's going to be able to find you there either.
Yeah.
Like,
but there's some truth to it in that, like, if you're one of the early movers and you get on there before.
Yes.
And that's exactly what happened on the Nintendo Switch.
And that's just something that happens with, like, stuff that has been established for quite a while. You need new ones to pop up every once in a while just to, like, shuffle the deck.
Yep.
Like, if there was ever, like, a decent YouTube competitor that really had a shot, that would be, like, a huge game changer for anyone that's trying to make a video.
Mm-hmm. And even if the... Yeah, so, like, what happened with the Switch is that came out... There was a couple indie games on it, especially those first couple months. And I think it was SteamWorld Dig 2 came out on that. It was one of the, like, 30 or 40 games on that store. Everybody fucking bought it. But now there's like 1,000 titles on the eShop.
Can't fucking find shit.
You can't find anything. And that's part of their problem, their discoverability. Right now, the Epic Game Store also has a shit interface because it's just a bunch of giant JPEGs of game titles, and it's kind of hard to find stuff. But again, they probably only have like 20 or 30 games on here right now. So it's not really a big deal right now. It's something I'm sure they'll fix. Because they got just hundreds of million or $1 billion from Fortnite, as well as hundreds of millions in investor money last year they took as well, which is obviously was because they're looking at building the frameworks to be a Steam competitor. And it's good for the marketplace to have competition because it's good for gamers. We're getting free games here. Maybe Steam will start pulling some stuff like that. We'll see. One problem I have... They're using third-party exclusive contracts to do this, and I really don't like that.
Yeah,
it's not the same as buying a console, and having the console exclusivity of having to own it because you could just install another launcher. But it is annoying to have multiple game launchers to look up games.
And ideally, everything would be available on every service so that whatever the best service to use is elevated to the top.
Exactly.
Exclusivity agreements are just kind of an artificial way to prop up not super great systems.
Correct. And the part of the exclusivity that happens right now is this is probably something that they're doing to get their store launched.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have a couple things that you can only get here so people will get it downloaded. Along with the free games. So, like, they're kind of doing a two-pronged approach here. Free games, awesome. That's a great way to get people to download your installer and start getting started playing stuff. Exclusivity deals, that is not consumer-friendly. Because, and I've heard game developers, because I'm on forums where some game developers talk, and they've been saying, like, consumers should care about, like, what a game developer cut is. And, like... that the game developers are healthy and happy. And I said, sure, people like me who are enthusiasts who follow, small indie developers and want to buy all their games and whatnot, that's fine. But the majority of people are like, I don't give a fuck about you. I want to play this game on what I have. You know what I mean? I want to buy it on Steam because that's where I buy my games. I don't look into the back end of how much cut you get or whatever. You know what I mean? It's the same for music. Like, yeah, I could go buy some music on the iTunes store, or I could go to Bandcamp and buy MP3s, and then I know that the musician's going to get a bigger cut, and I'll do that sometimes, especially for bands I really like. But you're going to have to understand the majority of people aren't going to do that, and they're going to see an exclusivity deal signed as, like, it's the same thing that happened with Microsoft with the Xbox 360. It worked out for them because they certainly did well. But also, when the Xbox One came out, coupled with the Kinect, a lot of other issues, there was not a lot of public goodwill towards Microsoft at that point. No, people were ready to change, and Sony pounced on that. like saying, you know, you can share your games. You can here's a disc. We've now shared a game. Like all this stuff, and people just were ready to turn on Microsoft.
Yeah, they had 2 big marketing snafus, and that was all they needed.
Well, and not to mention their console was $100 more because they forced you to buy Kinect with it,
Exactly.
which nobody wanted anyway.
Well, I did, but I'm weird.
Well, I mean, I would have liked to have had it as well because it seemed fun, but it also is $100 more. You know, is that something I really wanted? Not really. You know, but yeah. So what I'm saying is that I think it's an interesting choice for them to do some of this stuff. I mean, again, I don't want to say another launcher isn't that crazy. It's not like owning a 360 and not being able to play a PS3 game, you know, vice versa. Because it's not a $300 console I need to buy. But it's not pro-consumer to do that. It's pro-developer, you know, and you have to realize that people may say fuck you, even if it's a little thing. So yeah.
I just realized that this week was actually a little heavier on gaming news than I thought, because I remembered something as we were talking about this.
Good. Let's move on.
It's not in the doc, so this is something I read about this week. Bungie and Destiny are leaving Activision.
Oh my god, I forgot about. We literally just talked about this last week.
Well, when I say I heard that, I mean I saw a meme where somebody said, when you hear Bungie's leaving Activision, and it was a comic, a stick figure character poking a Blizzard logo and saying, do something.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's quite a bit to unpack, but we don't know a lot of the details other than the fact that it's going to be a process, because right now the companies are very, very much intertwined. Bungie is going to be going into self-publishing, which seems to be the big thing going on. Gearbox started doing this a couple of years ago.
Seems like
not
a smart
relying
move for them.
EA not relying on EA or anyone else with Gearbox. I mean, Bungie's, they're not as big a studio as some of the other. Well, maybe they are. I don't really know. John, you know this a little more than I do?
I do.
Okay.
So a big part of this was, so when this was announced, insiders at Bungie said they were literally popping champagne in their meeting room when they made this announcement. Because Activision signed, and I can't believe this, Activision bought Bungie as a developer 10 years ago, or 9 years ago, and they signed a 10-year exclusivity contract with Activision to be their publisher. It was going to run out in 2020, but they're like, no. So part of the contract with Bungie was, once they got the initial Destiny out, which I believe was 2014, right?
Somewhere around that, yeah.
That they would have an annual release. And that was a part of the contract they had with Activision. So what they were doing was, they were doing a large update patch, like disc release thing, like a Game of the Year edition with all of the, like, you know, whatever, all the expansions, basically.
So Destiny first came out, and then 2 expansions over that season. That season then went Taken King.
Yes.
Came out the next year, and then what was the next super expansion for that one? Taken King. Rise of Iron.
Remember. Yeah.
Rise of Iron. Okay, and then Destiny 2 was the following year.
Yeah.
And then the Forsaken was the next super expansion. So
correct.
It had 5 decent releases.
Yes, and so they're basically probably didn't have anything for this year. You know what I mean? They've done their Destiny 2, and they've done their big Destiny 2 update. And so it sounds like that it really does sound like the Activision relationship with Bungie was not very happy for the people at Bungie. And Destiny is owned by Bungie. As part of this deal, they were able to keep their IP, which was probably part of their initial deal anyway.
Because I think that they've already, like, they had the Destiny bits in the works before their acquisition.
Correct, and the idea was, and part of the original thing, and I remember this years ago, was they're going to create games for Activision, but they're going to wholly own their own Destiny in Destiny. Like they're not giving the rights away to their IP to another company, and that was why they signed. And it was weird for Activision to take it, but this also, you're talking about the developer of Halo. Like, of course, we'll do whatever you say. Like, if you make another Halo, which they kind of did, Destiny did really well. Destiny 2, not so much. And the expansions didn't sell as well. And maybe it's, maybe Bungie's saying that's partially because every time we finished a game, we're already had teams working on the expansion. Like we weren't able to focus because we had to have this annualized release schedule. But it goes to show you the tension between Activision and developers is real, and we've seen it at Blizzard.
Yep.
With them losing multiple executives, people leaving, kind of them hemorrhaging people. Yeah, it's not good. Working with Activision is not the way to make a lot of money.
I think Blizzard
not a way for you to make a lot of money. It's a way for them to make a lot of money off of your stuff.
Blizzard's not really in a position where they could follow suit and do something like this, right? Because Bungie was like a wholly owned subsidiary, and Blizzard actually merged with Activision.
Correct.
So those are like two heads on the same body.
Correct. It's the company is actually called Activision Blizzard. So, But yeah, so they bought Bungie as like a developer contract, like publishing contract. So they were going to be the exclusive publisher. But yeah, so I'm glad. I'm glad Bungie's free. Like I really hope they make another game, and I hope if a Destiny 3 exists, it's better than Destiny 2 was, because Destiny 2 is okay.
And that they could do what they want with it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Because they had those microtransactions in Destiny 2, and who knows if that was something they wanted or something Activision required of them. Because it wasn't in the first one.
And I hope that if there's a Destiny 3, the E in Destiny is a 3.
It will be.
Destiny 3.
It's video games. It will be. Man, I forgot about that news entirely, but that's such a huge
that was
deal.
like Wednesday or Thursday, I think.
There were a lot of gaming news items this week because the Activision...
Yeah, it seems like it's starting to pick up more. We kind of went through the gaming desert of winter.
Do you want me to segue from here into a gaming meme right now?
Sure.
I believe it's pronounced Segu.
Segu, yeah.
Oh, that was a great segue. I born in the 80s tradition, I have to call out how good that segue was, thus ruining the good segue.
So, a game that I wanted to kickstart, but I didn't get around to it, is finally coming out this March 1st. Toe Jam and Earl back in the groove.
Oh, yes.
And they've been hitting the Twitter hard, trying to just bounce and at off of every single freaking brand on Twitter, whether it's fake pandering for free stuff or just getting their ats on. They've gone everything from like at Dr. Dre to at Wendy's to at Checkers to all of the brands you'd expect to just respond with crap. I mean, I know Arby's has already done some of their papercraft stuff that they do for whatever they feel like doing. It is just all over the place on Twitter right now. I'm following them because this kind of at-pocalypse it's more of an at-phalange. An
at-phalange? Did they come up with that title, or is that you?
That was me.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
I'm surprised it's so good, TJ.
It normally isn't.
Oh, I'm kidding, TJ. I'm glad. The pun speaks for itself.
And just randomly, there is someone who has the at-valanche tag on Twitter.
Nice. So
we
they're
must murder them and take their tag.
So they're at-mentioning brands constantly right now?
Oh, yeah. They've been like going back and forth.
That's always so weird to me, because I hate that stuff.
And they went ahead and just followed a bunch of like random crap too. So
yeah, that's how you got to do Twitter. That's how I do.
I mean, they're pulling on all the memes. They've got a recent one where it's keep the likes and retweets equal. I know one of the current memes on Twitter is 2009 versus 2019, but they've just got a blank background for 2009 because they didn't have anything back then. Well, they had games, but at that point, they were done making games. But the Toe Jam and Earl team is most of the same original team that made the first two games back on the Genesis.
Yeah. Oh. Memes.
Toe memes and Earl.
Toe memes and Earl.
Matt, can we talk about something you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt.
What do you want to
Matt,
talk
what
about?
are you doing?
That's enough games for a little while.
Oh well, I
Yeah,
was going to talk about a
I'm
video
sick.
game I did,
Well,
but
Let's talk about non-video games. We can come back to video
I watched a
games.
film.
A film?
A film. This was a couple weeks ago at this point. The return of Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins
Oh.
returns, trademark the return of Mary Poppins. Starring-
Hashtag poppin' fresh.
Starring Jim's wife,
Oh,
Jim's one.
Jim.
Jim from The Office,
yeah,
Emily
Pam.
Blunt. No, starring Pam. Yes,
Oh,
and
Emily Blunt.
and that guy that voiced Paddington. I'm a really good film reviewer.
Wait,
Ben
really?
Whishaw, I think. Is his
Oh, Ben
name?
Whishaw. Yeah,
Whishaw.
Yeah.
And some dude that did like a play or whatever. But
Oh, Lenny.
yeah, Lenny
Len Manuel Marin. Dick Clark.
Lin-Manuel.
Wait, who's in it?
it was
Was he a chimney sweep?
no, he was a lamplighter.
Oh,
But
it's
he was
kinda like a
also-
chimney sweep.
He was reprising a character that was in the original that was like Bert's assistant, I guess.
Oh,
I think it was just like a really short scene where there's like a little kid that looks up to the window or whatever. I haven't watched the original recently.
so this
but
is the Adventure Time, story time crafting where it's just a minor character in the background and they're gonna make an entire movie about it now.
yes. No,
Because
they
everyone
so
wanted
what
that.
happened was the two kids from the original grew up and
Became
As-
assholes.
as adults do, they forgot about the magic. And then
So it's Christopher
Wait.
Robin all over again.
Wait a minute. Did they forget about Dre?
they did.
Oh my
They,
god!
they did,
how
I
can
don't
you-
even think they remember
Eminem
Dre throughout
told
the
you
movie.
not to forget about Dre.
And
so
then
wait, does this
so
take
we've got the
place-
trademark, the Disney TM dead wife.
Wait, does this take place during like modern times or
no,
like
it's about
80s or
20 years after the original, so it's like
something?
super
like the 60s or
industrialized.
something.
No, it's earlier than that. I think the original took place. It was like a period piece when it came out.
Okay, and
But-
not because it starred a lady, if you know what I'm saying.
Boo. Boo.
Yeah, so
I'm just gonna
so
rag
there's
on
the
you a bit.
trademark dead wife, and
Oh,
then Ben
touche.
Wishow's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna lose my house," and then Mary Poppins comes and
1910.
it's like, hey,
Original Mary Poppins.
hey, we're gonna take care of this mess, and we're gonna sing some songs, and we're gonna live inside a cartoon for a little bit, and it was pretty good. I was like transported to being like a 10-year-old again, and the movie audience was great. I was just clapping and
Cool.
smiling like an idiot.
Yeah. So, are we getting a Mary Poppins 3 with Vengeance?
Mary Poppins Genesis.
Man,
I don't know.
that movie-
I would be surprised if we didn't get more Mary Poppins movies after this, honestly.
You know what I love about Disney right now is that they're like, let's not make anything new. Let's just do sequels and remakes of old movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. My kids
It's-
did just watch both the old and the new Pete's Dragon.
It's kind of insane, actually, what Disney's doing right now.
I completely forgot there was a new Pete's Dragon.
Yeah.
What they got coming out this year? They have both an Aladdin and a Lion King.
Yeah.
One, are they both this year or is one this year and one next
They're
year?
both this year. They were
What?
both previews
Yes.
for Mary Poppins. Oh, and a live action Dumbo. Directed
that's
by
right.
Tim Burton, who is
God.
just like way on the downslide.
So remember when Disney bought Star Wars and were like, let's put out 2 Star Wars movies every year, and then Solo completely bombed.
Yeah.
And they were like, maybe people don't want a Star Wars movie every year.
Let's
But
do
now
a
they're-
remake of a cartoon every year, and then this will. There, I think probably the Dumbo one's gonna bomb, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
gonna be the one where they like take stock and rethink their strategy.
Nope, they're gonna do one more. They're gonna make a an Uncanny Valley version, live action version of Little Mermaid, which is going to look so disgusting.
Starring Jason Momoa.
Yeah, right.
No, but if they did that, he'd be like Lord Trident.
Okay, so we got I got Disney's movie release schedule for 2018 and beyond. So 2018, Mary Poppins Returns. This is when this I think was written in November. So 2019, this is including Marvel stuff because they own them. Captain Marvel, March 8th. Dumbo, March 29th.
And I saw a trailer for that, and they did some really fucked up Uncanny Valley stuff with Dumbo. They like tried to. He's like an elephant with human eyes, and it looks fucked up.
Maybe that's the whole point. It's got Tim Burton. Is Danny Elfman doing the soundtrack for that?
I assume so.
I mean, I'll buy the soundtrack, I guess, if it's good. Yeah,
And oddly enough, I
Elfman.
didn't see Helena Bonham Carter in the trailer. So
Weird. Wonder why that is. Okay, so this is Disney's release schedule, and I think the merger with Fox is basically all but confirmed at this point. Literally every movie is going to be a Disney movie now.
Mhm.
I don't know how legally they're allowed to do this, because this seems exactly the opposite of what the monopoly laws are against, because you have like two of the top five movie studios like joining together at this point. But
I
we
think
have
they're probably able to skate by as long as there's other studios that compete. Like,
what do you got?
They-
Warner Brothers.
we've got-
That's it.
well, just like
And
they've
Paramount?
got their superhero thing, and there's another superhero studio out there. They've got the
Yeah.
cartoon thing. There's more cartoon studios.
That's
out there.
true. Sony and DreamWorks.
They've
is
got
big.
Star Wars. There's more sci-fi out there. I think that they've like diversified enough that they're trying to use that as cover, but it still might not be enough.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about March 8th, Captain Marvel. In the same month, Dumbo. April 26th, Avengers Endgame. This is a packed spring.
Yeah.
And then May 24th, the Aladdin movie. I
Wait,
forgot
May?
about. Yeah.
May?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I forgot about this. Toy Story 4, June 21st.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that coming out
that
this year
too.
already.
So just to say right now, every single movie I've listed is a sequel or a remake.
Well, not
The
Captain
Lion-
Marvel. I mean, I guess kind of, but it's a new
Fair enough.
story.
Good point. That is a brand new character they're introducing. So that is not it. Those Marvel movies all kind of flow together to me that I'm
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
as part of that. But you're right. It is a completely new character. So definitely. So that's one. So out
And
of
there
all
will
of
be
these,
2 evil X's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe
So
now.
Lion King as well.
Wait, 2?
Yeah, Chris Evans and Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Brie
Sorry.
was an evil X, though.
What are you
She's
guys
dating
talking
an evil
about?
X. Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're both in that. Correct. Anyway, let's talk about Lion King, July 19th. Okay. Here is a movie called Artemis Fowl. I don't know what that is.
I heard something about it, but I
That
don't remember
isn't. I think that's based on a book.
Yes, correct. Irish criminal mastermind with a fairy leprechaun officer to defeat an evil pixie. Apparently, this is a really good book. People are talking about, like a fantasy, sci-fi. Anyway, directed by Kenneth Branagh. So, I mean, he's a pretty good director. Out in August, and that's new as well. So that's two new IPs. I mean, new in the fact that it is based on a book, but not. Anyway, same with that. Whereas, at least with like the original Frozen, you could say that was not really based off any specific book exactly.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I give movies that are based off of book a pass because there's like a bunch of movies that people don't even know are based off of books because the
Fair
book
enough.
was just never mainstream enough.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess that's the difference there with the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah,
Like that one's like obviously everyone knew the books and then everyone wanted to see the movie.
like nobody knows Mary Poppins was based off a book series.
Correct. Yeah, that's a good point. The movie is what the public conscience has taken. Speaking of Frozen, Frozen 2 is out in November. The
Because
sequel
we
that,
needed that.
a sequel that nobody needed.
Frozen 2, global warming.
Remember the people that made Tangled? They made a worse movie called Frozen, and now they're making a sequel to that.
I'd rather have a sequel to Tangled.
I'm
Yes,
hoping for a.
exactly.
Oh yeah,
Although-
Tangled
Tangled
was
is better.
good. I'm hoping for
Tangled-
a Frozen Ice Age crossover.
Tangled did get a TV series though,
Yeah.
Oh really?
but that's where Disney shows go to die. Well, they're successful, but you know.
Well, Frozen got
longevity's
like a
not there
20-minute short film at the beginning of Coco that made everyone feel super weird.
Are you talking about the one that was beginning of Cinderella?
No, there was one at the beginning of Coco that was like obviously a made-for-TV thing with commercial breaks and stuff.
What do you? Oh,
Oh,
the
And-
24-minute Frozen movie that happened.
Yeah.
so not Frozen Fever then.
No, it was
No.
Olaf's like big.
Yeah,
day
yeah,
or
it was an
something.
Olaf
Oh,
thing.
gotcha.
And then
And-
after like a week, they were like, okay, we're going to pull this. Because also I think it was something where there was some contract somewhere that said they had to air this, and they decided they didn't want to put it on TV, so they just shoved it in front
Yes.
of Coco for like a
So
week.
there was this situation, I think, where people were genuinely confused about what movie they were watching because
Yeah, because it was so long.
it was like after like because those shorts are like 5-10 minutes,
Yeah,
and after like 10 minutes, everyone was like, "Is this? Are we in the right theater? Like, it's just like 22 minutes, like a full, would half hour would run." And they, anyway, let's talk about the next movie on the slate, Star Wars Episode 9, which I still doesn't have a real title, and is definitely coming out in 2019.
Oh, here we go. I got this from Twitter. It's part of the scroll, the opening text scroll from Episode 9.
Sweet.
Episode 9, Rise of the Return. This movie was made possible by Audible. Audible is the leading provider of audiobooks. They have over 180,000.
Wait,
So-
No, I believe
Yeah.
the ninth one is called From a Nap, so that all the titles line up to be The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, From a Nap.
Nice.
yeah.
I went ahead and retweeted that text scroll, because it's legitimate. It was on the internet. No one lies on the internet.
No, of course not. Had to be real.
Yeah.
But did you know? Okay, I found it actually. Okay, so this is Star Wars Episode 9, Return of the Vengeance. Here it is. Here's the scroll. Number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is someone's foot fungus. But as it turns out, it might be what you get. A 4chaner uploaded a foot. Okay, I'm done. It took me a while to find the script for that, so the joke was a bit delayed. But we don't know the title of the new Star Wars movie, and it's not being directed by the guy from Jurassic World who was kicked off the movie, and it's J.J.
No.
Abrams again.
Yeah.
So
Wasn't that the plan? Well, I thought the Jurassic World guy was going to do the second one.
Nope, he was going to do the third one,
Oh, okay.
and then J.J. Abrams was like, nah,
Nah,
I'm
bro.
going to do it. But that was like years ago that this switch happened.
And that's when we find out that this whole time Star Wars has been in the Cloverfield universe.
Okay? So we're talking about, at least in terms of what Matt is describing, 2 movies out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 releases next year. 2 are original, 7 sequels.
In my original, they still stole the ideas from somewhere.
Yeah, well, yeah. Except for maybe whatever this... Oh, no. Yeah, Captain Marvel is based on comic books, but that wasn't based on a specific book.
Yeah.
Just based on the concept. So that is probably, I'd say 1 out of 9. To be fair, 2 out of 9 originals, though. You're right, Matt. I got to agree with you on the adaptation there. All right, 2020 announced the new Pixar movie that isn't a sequel. It is Onward, which we've only seen the name title screen for. And that's got Chris Pratt, Tom Holland, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Octavia Spencer have been attached. And the basic plot is it's 2 teenage elf brothers embark on a quest to discover if there's any magic left in the world.
No.
Okay.
March 6th, 2020. So that sounds wholly original Disney creation.
Yeah, but does it count if it's Pixar? Because they
Yeah.
kind of just go, here's a check, do your own thing.
Still owned. They own everything now. They own Marvel as well. You got to count Marvel. You got to count Pixar. Mulan remake.
Is live action?
Yes,
Oh.
March
Yeah.
27th, 2020. Currently,
Is Eddie Murphy reprising his role?
I hope. Maleficent 2 again. Angelina Jolie is back. May
really?
29th, 2020.
I thought the
All right.
first one like bombed. I didn't hear anything about that movie.
And here's a banger for 2020 as well. Jungle Cruise, based on the Disneyland ride Jungle Cruise with Dwayne The Rock Johnson starring.
This isn't their first one based off a ride.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean.
This isn't like even their fourth one based off a ride. I mean, I kind of consider.
Oh,
Country
right. They
Bears
did
a
like a
ride.
Tower of Terror movie,
They did-
right?
They did Haunted Mansion.
They're the Haunted Mansion.
They did Missing One.
Space Mountain.
Did we talk about the Haunted Mansion? Did we talk about Disney and how Disney, the Haunted Mansion, is full of dead people?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
So get this. So there was an article talking about how Disney is constantly having to deal with people going to Disney World and dumping their loved ones' ashes. And so Disney insiders have described this happens like weekly. Constantly people are just coming, dumping out bags of ashes somewhere in Disney World, like a favorite ride, a favorite part of the park, just doing that. And they're saying, please do not do this. This is a park. We do not want dead dust everywhere. And they said, particularly, the Haunted Mansion is the most popular place to dump cremated remains. So, yeah. That being said, here's my live will and testament. When I die, if I decide to have been cremated, I'm not going to make even that decision right now. I want my remains to be scattered. I want my remains to be mixed with water and formed into some sort of ball, and then thrown at the Jack Sparrow they added to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Because they're like, hey, we got to make this the new Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's ruin it. Or throw it at whoever decided to get rid of all the awesome Epcot rides.
We'll just look. We'll look up on YouTube homemade slime recipes that include human cremains.
Yep.
And then
Human cremains.
Is cremains a term?
it is. I think it's not
That's
super.
a good term.
It's not
Yeah.
super like embraced by the cremation industry, but it's
That's a
what
good term,
people
though.
use.
They got to take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget, in 2021, Harrison Ford is returning for a Spielberg-directed Indiana Jones sequel.
Oh, just let it die.
Yeah.
He's like 80.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
All
going
right.
to happen.
I found a list of all movies based off of Disney attractions.
Okay, what do
right.
we have?
There are only 12, and 5 of them are
I'm
Pirates of the
surprised
Caribbean
there are
ones.
12. We're in double digits.
Yeah,
Okay.
but to be fair, 5 of them are Pirates of the Caribbean based.
5
Oh,
Pirates of
yeah,
the
I
Caribbean.
suppose. I forgot that.
The Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
And apparently there is the Haunted Mansion live action film remake, but one was a 2003 film, so I don't know when those are. I don't feel like clicking.
I don't think that counts.
Jungle Cruise, which is coming out.
Yep.
Mission to Mars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the live action film remake, that's an upcoming. So they are making another Haunted Mansion movie.
Oh, they're doing it again.
Yes.
Already.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just going down the catalog.
Mission to
Wait.
Mars.
Wait, Mission...
Okay.
No, that can't be it. What?
I'm on the Disney Wiki
The Brian
page.
De Palma movie from
The
2000?
Jerry O'Connell one?
Yes.
I don't think that
That
was
was a
based
Disney
off of a
thing?
Disney ride. It is, though. Distributed by Buena Vista Pictures.
Was it one of those ones where you all sit in a chair that moves and you look at a big screen?
Probably.
It doesn't say anything in the Wikipedia page about how it was based off the ride, but probably. I mean, if it was released by Touchstone, which
Holy
was
shit.
Disney's subsidiary, yeah, I guess.
My mind is blown that Mission to Mars was a Disney attraction.
All right. The Country
Oh,
Bears, which I mentioned earlier.
I don't know
yeah.
the Country Bears.
There is a Tower of Terror film as well. So not just
What?
Haunted Mansion,
Yeah.
there's also Tower of Terror.
When did that come out?
Like early 2000s, I think. I remember
97.
seeing. Oh, yeah.
my god.
Steve Guttenberg and Kirsten Dunst.
Wait, was this just released on DVD only?
No, I remember seeing trailers for it that it was going to the
Television
theater.
film.
Oh, really?
It was a TV only film.
Yep.
Maybe I'm thinking of the other one then.
You're thinking of Haunted Mansion. And then Tomorrowland.
Wait, isn't it Kirsten?
That was a joke for one person
Yeah.
that's listening.
That is a joke
And that
for
person is
listeners
me.
who know my massive mispronunciation of that name.
Yes.
Okay.
Why hasn't there been a Space Mountain movie yet?
That's true.
Probably in the works. They just haven't mentioned it.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking of the Haunted Mansion because I was thinking of Eddie Murphy.
Yep. Eddie Murphy, you mean the guy who does the Mushu and Donkey? I know.
Are they
Shrek's not
doing a
Disney
live
property.
action Shrek remake?
That's not Disney,
What I am looking
Oh,
forward
right,
yes.
right.
but it's already on stage, so we're good.
Yeah, what I'm looking forward to is when Disney makes a movie based off of a ride that was based off of a movie. So 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea remake, I'll be like, this is a movie, we made it into a ride in Disneyland, and now we're making another movie. Let's get it done, Disney.
It's a Small World as a horror film.
That's already a thing. I forget what it's called, but there's a horror series about like lots of little dolls coming to life.
Child's Play.
No, not that one. I'll try to think of it. Move on.
Okay.
I just want to mention, I don't watch any of this shit. Like, I don't watch any remakes. Like, I watched that. Not to say that like the Mary Poppins movie is necessarily bad, because it's not a remake. It's a sequel. But that Beauty and the Beast remake fucking sucked ass. It was so boring because it was like, I just don't have that enchantment of that movie, and it was the same exact script. You know what I mean? It was just like, this is weird. Like, I loved the animation. Like, that's such a beautifully animated movie. And then they're like, we're going to just make it look realistic-ish. And you're like, this is not as good. Like, I didn't wow me, And also, Emma Watson can't sing, and that really hurt the movie.
Yeah. I think my kids liked Cinderella live action.
That actress is, a joy. What's her name? Lily something?
It's the Puppet
Lily?
Master series for anyone that was just
Okay.
waiting and waiting and waiting.
Lily James. That's the name of that actress who was in that. She was in Downton Abbey. That's why I remember her.
Downtown Abbey.
But she's in that Cinderella movie, and she's also in Baby Driver.
Oh, is she the love interest?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she's good.
And
in Baby
she's
Driver.
in a bunch of stuff, actually. She's in that Mamma Mia remake or sequel. Here we go again as the young version of what's her name, Meryl Streep. I don't know if she can sing, but anyway, she was great in Downton Abbey. What else is going on, guys? Let's change the subject.
Okay. Matt's new song came out.
Yeah, I
did.
did that. And I got upwards of tens of views.
I watched it twice on YouTube.
That's good.
And I've got YouTube Premium, so that gets you more sense than just a non-premium.
Let me think.
Yeah. I'm trying to stick to like a much more frequent schedule, so they're going to be coming out like week after week eventually, hopefully.
Nice. I like that. We need more of Matt's music in the world. And by
Yes.
Matt's music, I mean Matt's covers of other people's music.
Yeah, speaking of like shit just being remade.
No, but music covers are a bit different because the idea is like making a musical digression from the original.
Yeah.
Like making it special in its own way. Whereas like these Disney remakes are like exact same shit but live action instead of animated.
Well, to the
And
point
it's
where
like-
like the screenwriters for the original Lion King are like, no, you just fucking took our script.
Yeah,
And
it's the exact same. Like my wife was talking about, like, if they make
My wife.
the Lion King, they make the Lion King. My wife. They make the Lion King live action like the Julie Taymor live Broadway musical with like people in costumes and shit. That'd be fucking awesome. But they're not doing that. It's all
Yeah,
CG.
that would be cool.
It's not live action.
It's a live action movie starring CG.
All right.
Let's watch this live action movie that all was filmed in front of a giant green screen.
Are you
like-
ready for the whole dissolution of this whole thing?
Sure.
They should make a Toy Story stop motion.
Or just a live action
A
Toy
live
Story
action
would be the
Toy
creepiest
Story.
thing in the world.
That's gonna okay. This is
Starring
okay.
all the same cast. So you have like
Born in the
fucking
80s,
Tim Allen.
episode 339, 13th January 2019, year of our Lord.
Trademark.
Born in the 80s is making the prediction that this may happen 50 years in the future, some nonsense. When we're like old and retired,
Nope.
they're going to
5
make
years.
they're going to make a live action remake of the first Toy Story with real people and real like settings, but animated toys looking CG things. That's going to happen.
Oh, so just like Sid is real and
Yes,
like
Sid is real.
Andy's
All of, like,
real,
sets
but
are
the
real,
toys
like-
are all CG.
Correct.
They use
That's going
GoPros.
to happen.
They use GoPros for all those low shots.
Yeah,
Gross.
yeah, that's gonna happen.
It's going to happen,
Fuck.
and it may be a ways out. I don't know how because there's
Well, I
still
think
milking
it's
the
going to be a
originals.
while before they try to dip into the Pixar well, but I think that's probably going to be the first one they
That
go
would be
for.
the
then-
first one. It has to be.
And then there'll be like 20-year-olds on fucking neojezebel.com being like, remember, rest in peace, Tom Hanks, but remember the originals. Like,
Yeah,
it's just gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be sad. Tom
that
Hanks
movie's
can't
already
die.
been made though. It's called Small Soldiers.
Tom Hanks is is the world's dad.
That movie's so
He can't
campy.
die.
I love it. I love Small Soldiers.
It's so
Small
great.
Soldiers is great. Also, rest in peace, Phil Hartman.
Yeah,
His
Yes.
last film.
really?
Yes.
I didn't know that was his last one.
That and Kiki's Delivery Service, where you did the voice for. Those are his last two things.
Aren't there 2 different dubs for Kiki's?
There are. I would like to mention awesome friend
prefer
of the podcast,
subs, not dubs.
Ewan, from the While Away podcast, which is also great, and you should listen to. It's like While Away, like WHIL, like whiling away the time. It's a great podcast. Anyway, they come out monthly. He did an entire YouTube video describing the differences between the two dubs, and I didn't even realize that I had been bamboozled into the two separate Kiki's Delivery Service dubs. But there are, and the dub, the Blu-ray release, and the theatrical re-release removed a bunch of Phil Hartman's lines because he ad-libbed a whole bunch, and they added it to the movie, and it's like really fun, good stuff. Like he made that character his own, and it sucks that they removed that from the dub for quote unquote more accuracy to the original, which in some ways I understand, but also give me both options.
Yeah.
Give me both dubs. And also he goes into how the new dub also sounds worse. Like the audio is bit crunched and sounds bad. So like made it worse.
Hate it when they do that.
They made it worse. Anyway, but yeah, shout outs to him. He helped me find a DVD of the original because I was like, I have to have this. I can't have the old one.
I don't know if his YouTube channel is Brightside Ewan or Brightside Reviews, but it's one of the two. I think he went to
Anyway.
Brightside Ewan. If you want to go find
Kiki's
it.
video is awesome and really well done, and it kind of just steps out. I mean, yeah, and I talk about it a bit with like the Evangelion redub because I think I mentioned that as well as like it's like why you're changing something from my like past, and like why do that?
I retweeted a Smash victory screen for you, where Shinji wins the battle and everyone else is clapping for him.
Congratulations! Oh yeah.
Although for some reason in the lineup of people that are clapping for him is King DDD, just because they wanted to make it memey.
Nice.
It was a while ago, but past 2 days.
All right. What do I want to talk about?
Yeah,
What
you have
I
a
been
lot.
up to? I have
We
a
almost
lot.
need to have an extra podcast just to go over all your stuff.
I know. I like
because
keep
we were
adding
so far-
to it. Well, there's so much I can remove from this. Like, there's stuff I don't really need. Like Dragon Quest 11, I'm gonna remove it now.
And
I
you're still
played
playing
more
it.
of it.
Yeah.
I got farther. I'm like 2/3 of the way through. The game continues to be really good. I got into a real rhythm where I played that like good 30 hours over the course of like a week.
I still need to finish number 2.
Yeah. Fallout 76. It continues to be fun. I play with Matt sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They continue to try to make it a real game. And
Yeah,
one day
the-
it'll
the-
get there.
Recently, a patch changed the weight of bobby pins to not be.
A tenth of a pound. 10 bobby pins is a pound.
Yeah.
Like,
They were talking about how bobby pins weighed 64 times more than like the actual weight. And
Yeah.
So now they're what, like 1,000th of a pound, which is still more
yeah,
than they actually
I
weigh,
think they
but-
moved it over 2 decimal points.
Yeah. So it's like.
But it's like
so-
small enough that you don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah,
Practically
you'd have-
weightless without being weightless.
You'd have to
Yeah.
carry 100 of them before it's like, even affecting your real weight limit in any significant way.
Can I prompt
Um,
you for the thing that I most want to hear about?
Sure. Yes.
Tell me
please.
about Black Mirror Cumberbatch.
Black Mirror, as I've named the porn version, Black Mirror Bang the Snatch.
Gotta choose your own adventure porn.
Matt, you've again, born in the 80s, has called
man.
out the future.
That's gonna
because-
happen, and it's gonna
yeah.
be in VR probably.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It has to
I
be.
mean, VR porn already exists.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
What? I have not. I'm going to say this. I have never watched a single pornography. That's not me. I've never seen a VR porn thing.
You
It's all I
wait in
got
general
now.
or just VR?
Just in general. I'm just saying this on the podcast definitively. I'm not
okay.
lying about this in any way.
Okay.
I've never seen a porn or anything because that's just gross, obviously. I've never seen VR porn. But in VR porn, it's really weird how tiny you are.
There's like scaling
Because-
issues.
The scaling issues, it's like. So I just want to say VR porn is built for people who are vor enthusiasts because you're basically surrounded by gigantic tall women.
So are you talking about the stuff that's like 360 video?
Yeah, no, like the 360 3D video.
Okay, yeah.
It's the
Because-
way
because,
that the
like-
fisheye lens works is that when people are close to the screen, they look fucking enormous. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because the
And
perspective.
if it's video, it's like it can't dynamically adjust for your like.
Correct.
If I was watching
The
something on the
perspective
Vive,
doesn't
it can,
work.
Yeah,
I have the issue in the fisheye lens versions, but when watching, this goes even outside of pornography. Because
Yeah.
I watch concerts in VR.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you get the 360 video, I don't have that issue so much.
Yeah.
I don't have that really big bubbly when things are in my
I
face.
suppose you're right. I'm not talking about 360 video, man. I'm talking about like the fisheye.
the
lens
stationary
thing.
two
The big
lens.
like whatever
Yep.
90-degree lens angle that you get. The
Mm-hmm.
way that it's someone brought that up to me and now I can't ever unthink about that because it's totally the way everything looks. Like it's just like you're being attacked by giants,
Yeah, that sounds
basically.
That sounds
And it's
terrible.
yeah, man. Let me just
For
let me write down a couple
360.
links here.
Got it,
Giant women, you say? Giant ladies.
The Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. That was an actual film.
So anyway, what was the thing you actually? Oh, Bandersnatch.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I got distracted
Black
by
Mirror
all of
Bandersnatch.
the pornography.
So this is on Netflix. Unless you're an idiot who bought a Apple TV, you can play this because it is not playable on the Apple TV, I guess.
Wait, it's
How-
playable.
What?
I thought it was just an episode.
No,
no,
it's
Longer episode.
it's a
Choose
choose
Your
your
Own
own
Adventure.
adventure.
Okay, kind
Which
of like
Choose Your Own Adventure has sued Netflix.
Yeah, which is
Bandersnatch.
fucking stupid. That's like dumber than the dance stuff.
yeah.
But I will also say it's dumber than dance stuff, but also not as dumb when you know that I believe Warner Brothers has the exclusive publishing rights to Choose Your Own Adventures movies. So, and they haven't done anything with it
But
yet.
does-
But that's why.
Is
It's
that
because it's a
specifically
huge-
for that branding?
Yeah, yes. So it's a huge. That's why though. It's because it's a big company. And they're like, we
Yeah.
got money to spend on lawsuits. Maybe we can extract fucking settlement out of this,
Yeah.
or
okay,
a
so
rights deal.
how does the like is there like an overlay that pops up that says like
Yes.
choose A or B?
Yes, so it plays exactly like, I don't know if you saw the Steam game Night Shift. I think there's other couple games, but it's like an FMV game and it's actually really well implemented. So you're doing a
Oh
scene.
shit! You just blew my mind. This isn't an interactive movie. This is the highest budget FMV game.
Yes, it literally is. So you go to, let's just say early on, there's a couple choices just to kind of show you the binary nature of the way that the choices are and how the game works. It's built well.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start up you're watching this and the guy wakes up and he says, "Do you want like Frosted Flakes or like Chex or something?" I don't know. It's British, so there's two weird British cereals. But
do you want jammies or Dodgers?
Exactly. And so you choose, and the way that the text prompt comes up is it comes up early enough where you have it timer, and it's just like kind of a little bar going across the screen that when it ends, I think it does a default choice for you.
Okay.
But you have until then, and then it's edited to cut seamlessly where you don't notice like a pause or anything. So it's actually really cool.
So it's kind of how they built Minecraft Story Mode for Netflix. I started trying.
Yes, that's exactly the same tech. Yes, where you can play the Minecraft Story Mode, but again, not available on Apple TVs for some reason. And I want to rag on people that have Apple TVs because I heard people bitching about it. It's like, so you bought the $200 Roku and you're bitching? Like, why did you buy that? Like, buy a fucking Roku. They're $60 and they don't have any content restrictions. You just can't get anything from Apple on them.
Yeah.
But you can get
or get an Amazon Fire TV for $40.
Yeah, or like
Amazon Fire TV,
the Chromecast or whatever.
But again, those also have limitations because you can't get Amazon stuff on a Chromecast. But you can on a Roku.
I forgot about that.
You can't get Google stuff like Google Play Music and stuff on the Fire, but you can get it on the Roku. Like the Roku has the ultimate library except for Apple, because Apple only is on Apple devices. But and not that Apple TV is bad. I mean, like they have a good service, but they charge way too much for that player. Like when Roku's like $100 for the 4K. But anyway, doesn't work on there. I'm sure it's some weird technical thing they couldn't figure out. It'll be fixed eventually, I'm sure.
Well, I think it's just a matter of like you can design one way for all of the systems except one, and are you going to waste resources adapting that to the outlier?
Especially because if you have a Netflix account and you have a computer, you can watch it on any computer. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, it probably had something to do with the way the controller inputs work or some nonsense with the Apple thing. Anyway, it's a really cool thing. It works. There's multiple endings. The game has like branches, and it kind of does the page for you, and you can go back and make a different choice at one point in the story.
Oh, really?
You get towards the end. Yeah, so you can go back and replay it multiple times to kind of see all the different branches. There is a really weird branch that gets extremely meta, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's pretty neat, actually. But it's a really cool thing. It's really implemented well. It's definitely not my favorite episode. If I was rating as an episode of Black Mirror, it'd probably be in the bottom half because I think the storyline's a little bit plain. It deals with mental illness in a not very good way.
From the trailer, it looked like sort of a cyberpunk Ready Player One.
No, not at all.
That's what it looked like to me.
I know it. So
or like a Ready Player One prequel.
So it's a young adult, like probably out of high school, just starting out, but he's a coder and he wants to make his own game and he wants to base it off this book Bandersnatch. Famously, the writer of that book, fantasy novel or sci-fi novel, chopped up and killed his wife and went crazy when he wrote the book. And he's making the game, and it's kind of going through the same issue. And your character does that, but it's really kind of like it didn't feel good. Like it felt like it was like dealing with like schizophrenic illusions in a weird way that didn't. It was like it felt done. It felt like I've seen this story before, you know,
like Tales from the Crypt kind of crap.
Yeah, like creator. Yeah. I mean, that's what all Black Mirror is.
Yeah,
is Tales from the Crypt, but like it wasn't super inventive.
Future Twilight Zone.
Well, part of the biggest problem I have with this is also I think it's the first Black Mirror that takes place in the past. Not to spoil San Junipero.
Yeah,
you do know
I had to catch myself on that.
Yes, that has a very sci-fi twist as you watch it. But this actually does take place in the 80s, and is not in the future, which I thought was weird. But maybe it kind of takes place in the future if you go through the meta endings. I don't know. It gets weird, but it's a neat thing. I think it's a really cool thing that they made, and it kind of shows, if not the best episode of Black Mirror, it shows the ability that they have to create some really cool content around that, and I look forward to it.
Kind of a proof of concept of what could happen with other
great.
series.
Yeah, and they've already had it with the Minecraft stuff, and I believe there's a Puss in Boots interactive movie as well.
Probably.
So they've done some interactive stuff on Netflix, but it's mostly been for kids. So they've kind of shown, and I think interactive movies is kind of a thing that could happen.
Yeah,
and Netflix is a good platform for it too.
Well, and that's the thing, is that like with movie theaters, you can't really do that. They've done that in the past, I guess, but you can't really do that now without telling people to whip out their phones, a la Jackbox style, to choose. And I don't want to be in a movie theater where everyone has their phone out.
Oh God, so many backlights.
I know, but doing it over Netflix or any streaming service is a really cool idea, and it's a really unique experience. So, yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That's good. That's a good one.
And while you're on Netflix, there's a shit ton of like early 2000s, mid 2000s game shows now.
Yeah,
some like 2014 stuff too.
We talked about this a little bit before we started recording. So, TJ, apparently you're an expert in game shows.
I love game shows. I've loved game shows all of my freaking life.
Matt, do you have the Yodel guy from?
No, but oh God, I could make an infinite loop of that.
That'd be a great one to make. But yeah, so Netflix has been grabbing I don't want to say like Game Show Network flunkies, because I really love these shows. I just didn't get a chance to see them until they got on Netflix, because I keep being without Game Show Network and I don't watch TV as much. But they've got a show called Idiot Test, which is any kind of like internet picture riddle you could ever think of that people like, 95% of people get this wrong. That's the kind of like wordplay puzzles, picture puzzles, that they've converted into a game show.
Right.
There is another show called Emo Genius, which is answering a bunch of questions that it gives you the answer in emoji, but you have to actually convert that to English. So
I thought it was like a bunch of dashboard confessional trivia or something.
They've gotten some syndicated episodes of Minute to Win It. Not the old Flavortown guy.
The stuff with Guy
Fieri.
They got the later ones with Apollo Ono.
Wait.
That's John. I don't know why you're surprised. This is the natural progression. Guy Fieri to Apollo Ono.
So they went from celebrity chef TV host to Olympian.
Yeah, I forget. Is he a track or
I think he did skiing. Skiing?
No, he's
Apollo
a speed
Ono.
skater. Speed skater.
Oh, right.
Right.
He actually
fuck me for
in,
confusing skating and skiing.
But he brought speed skating into like the U.S. like national spotlight. Like
curling is still cooler.
Anyway, he when he was on the top, like made speed skating like a U.S. thing for a few Olympics. But he also is a presenter on NBC for the Olympics and stuff. So, but yeah,
So,
and apparently a game show.
Yep. So these join Jeopardy in my list of game shows you can watch on Netflix, as well as the U.S. version of The Chase, which is
what's that?
The Chase is a quiz show where you're against a really, really smart guy that they bring on every week. In the UK, they had 4 different chasers, but they brought on one of the UK guys permanently for the Game Show Network version. So you would have one round where you would try to bank as much money as possible, and then you'd have to actually bring that money in while the chaser is also answering the same questions as you are. If you bring the money in, it gets pooled with your team, and then at the end of the show, you have the final chase where you have to kind of give yourself as much of a head start for answering as much questions as possible in 2 minutes, and then the chaser then gets a different set of questions to try and catch you. If he catches you, you lose.
Do you remember in the 2000s when there was a show when Comedy Central had game shows, and there was a game show called Beat the Geeks?
I don't remember that one.
Kind of.
This reminded me of Beat the Geeks. So it's like contestants would have to go on and then beat a geek who is a like nerd in a certain type of like category. There's like music and all, movies and all this stuff, and then you basically had to challenge them with trivia questions. Like you had the same. You had to beat the geek basically. So I thought that was pretty.
And in the year 2000, it looks like Coolio was a guest star.
Cool.
But I want them to. I want them, the ominous them that exists controlling everything, pulling all the strings, to create a game show where to win you have to answer questions about other game shows.
I'm sure that already existed. Maybe not that specifically, but that would be cool. I want to be on that.
Yeah, it's like the perfect. If the goal of game show is ultimately to get the audience to feel like they could have won, that's the perfect formula.
I mean, game shows is the medium specifically that is the reason why Betty White has been on every decade of television that's ever existed.
Oh, yeah.
Betty White has been on television every single decade. And if she can survive another year, which I'm sure she will, she's some sort of like... She eats souls in order to stay alive. I'm certain of it.
She's a vampire.
I mean, heck, she married a game show host. I think the host of Password, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember who that is.
Yeah. But yeah, if she stays alive another year and stays on television, I think she still has her show on TV Land. She'll still have been on every decade of television that's existed. And that is mind-blowing to me.
Since the beginning of television, even. That's...
Yes.
Like, it didn't register for me that... Like, I thought every decade since she was a celebrity, but I forgot she was around for the beginning of television.
Yes. At least every decade. But yeah, I almost wish that GSN has like a Game Show Network had a Game Show Network 2, because they've kind of strayed away from their Game Show Network is just showing classic episodes of old game shows, and is now like, well, we'll throw a match game here or whatever. We still show a lot of Family Feud, but it's a lot of Steve Harvey era.
Yeah.
I'd want them to have like almost like what Cartoon Network did when they added Boomerang. It's like, we're gonna move the classic cartoons here, and we're gonna continue our newer shows on Cartoon Network. It's what Nick at Night did when they first did TV Land, before that kind of became its own thing.
Yeah.
Is they moved all of their classic episodes to TV Land, and then started showing The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is shows for adults now.
There was much wailing and gnashing of teeth in my household when they started showing color TV shows on Nick at Night. Like, I guess they had been doing Happy Days for a while, but it was mostly like, I want to watch I Love Lucy for a while.
But no, you get Bewitched, the color version.
Do you remember when the Comedy Central channel had a game
Beat the
show?
Geeks, yes.
Had a game show, a game show in which a former President Nixon speechwriter was the host.
What?
Win Ben Stein's money.
Oh, that's right.
Ben Stein was a Nixon speechwriter?
Correct.
Yes.
That makes so much sense.
Let me just read some political views and advocacy from Ben Stein.
Yeah, Ben Stein's a real shithead.
Let's talk about the Ferguson shooting.
No.
And his thoughts about that. Wait, what about the expelled, no intelligence allowed, the anti-evolution movie that he made? We're talking about how evolution isn't real.
Wait, wasn't the whole thing with Win Ben Stein's money that he was supposed to be smart?
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Yeah. I mean, if I want to do anything that involves a conservative economist that's not a conservative socially, I'll listen to stuff done by Stephen Dubner and
Wait, whoa, stop.
Stephen Levitt, Freakonomics.
He is definitely a conservative socially with his anti-abortion awards and things that he's won.
Which one?
Wait,
Ben Stein.
is that
No,
Nick.
I would rather listen to a
Governor's the
conservative
Radio Lab
economist.
guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather listen to a conservative economist that's not conservative socially.
Got it. That's
Yeah.
not a monster.
Yeah, like I can understand
not
and
monster.
respect conservative economical views. I don't
Sure.
agree with them, but conservative social views are just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Exactly. The idea of a conservative economical view is like you have a different idea of how economics works
Yep.
Yeah.
fundamentally. It's like a scientific theory. You have a different theory.
Then the
than
idea
these
of
other
a certain
people.
of a conservative social view is you believe certain people don't deserve rights.
Yeah,
That's just
exactly.
where you're like, what the what?
Yeah, there's a difference there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, for a lot of people that probably were formerly Republican Party people, because there's been people that have been like, yeah, this isn't the same anymore.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden this is the Bible Party instead of the let's not
But-
spend too much on social programs party.
When Ben Stein's money was good for one thing, catapulting Jimmy Kimmel into the mainstream.
Well, it was that and Man Show because he was on.
Well,
Man
that
Show
was
first.
pre-Man Show, right?
No, I swear Man Show was first. I might be wrong.
Man Show was definitely first. Because
Yeah.
Ben Stein's money was 90. I was literally on a. Here we go. When is Man Show? Man Show was 99 to 2004. No, Ben Stein's money was first, 97 to 2003. They overlapped significantly, but Man Show was 2 years later. But can we just mention that Ben Stein is awful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. He
So I have a
also was in
question.
the 2018 Sharknado movie as Alexander Hamilton. That's
oh
all.
boy. I have a question from the chat.
Sure.
This comes from I Ate a Karate Kid. Should emulators, and I think you both will have strong opinions on this, should emulators be allowed for speed running? And should game pads be allowed as alternatives to traditional controllers?
Sorry, I have another question from the chat. Moon Drunk Monster Beautiful and
Yeah,
Strange.
I
How
saw
you
that
know
one.
that
I think that
question.
was a spam bot.
And tell me which you dread more, the echo or the answer. I would say the echo. But anyway, sorry. Emulators allowed for speedrunning. This is a hotly debated thing because there are certain emulators that are allowed for speedrunning. I have personal experience with this in some ways. So that's I agree completely with TJ. It's totally up to the community of the game. And so there are games, like I'm specifically speaking of Pokemon, which I've attempted some speedrunning stuff in. There is a emulator that they allow. It's a Gambate speedrun version. And so the idea is that the problem with allowing emulators is that it basically gives you kind of a free reign of you can fuck with the code to make the game run faster. So what they had, at least for Pokemon, is here is a standard release that is the okay for official running. So as long as you're not fucking with that like code and release, you can use it. Yeah, red and blue. Exactly. That's the one I used. And again, use the original hardware if you can, if it's feasible. I have my red cartridge somewhere.
But
in
we're
this house.
as we go on, we're getting to a point where that hardware is just gonna not be around anymore. 'Cause
Correct.
Nobody's making new.
Right now, people play it on a Super Game Boy because it's easy. I think I ran blue. What's the faster one? Blue?
Red
Squirtle?
for.
No, it's red now, isn't it? For the Nidoran strats?
Yeah, red with the Nidoran strats.
Yeah, I did the Nidoran stuff. I got about halfway through that run. I tried to learn. It took me like 7 hours just learning, but it's kind of a fun thing to learn. But I think I agree. I feel like it's a thing that should be allowed, especially because it's going to be more and more difficult to have that original.
So is
the red
is
mid
the
okay?
issue
Is what-
that certain emulators offer you options to fuck with speed, or is it that you can actually modify the ROM?
I mean, that could be part of it too.
It's more that you can tweak the emulation to go a little
Okay.
bit faster.
Yep.
So
to do
so like
this.
if there's
Or,
officially
splicing
sanctioned
videos.
if there's like officially sanctioned emulators that like theoretically somebody could still fuck with the ROM, but that solves most of the problem.
Yeah. So the problem with it is like people have an emulator, and it's not, and so you basically would need for it to work in a speed community is you don't want it to be that you have to use the emulator to compete, but you also don't want it to have to be the thing that you have to own this old, really hard to find cartridge and thing that costs hundreds of dollars, because that limits the access to speedrunning as well.
It's also interesting to, like, there could be issues down to the clock speed of your computer versus the original hardware.
Yes.
Like we've seen that with podcasting where it varies over time, over a long enough time.
Mm-hmm. So one interesting way to put this is the way that it would be, and I think it's the way that Gambate Speedrun works is that they know that emulator is tuned specifically to this game and set up and distributed in a way that it runs at the exact same speed as a Game Boy would.
Mm-hmm.
So there isn't any discernible difference between the two. And that's what you kind of need. And that's up to that's up to the community. And that's the great thing about speedrunning is that there's no like blanket you can or can't use emulators. So if you're someone, who doesn't have access to original hardware, the ability to stream original hardware, you're like, I'm going to have to use an emulator if I want to stream and get into that. You can look up games where emulators are allowed and find something you can do. Like that was one of the things I was like with Pokemon with game, I was like, you can download Gambate Speedrun and then use your ROM dump legally is what you're supposed to do to play the game on your computer. And then that way, you can put it on Twitch through whatever. And yeah, so I think they definitely should have emulators as much as they can, if they, because it just adds more access for people. That's it, really. That's my thoughts. Because it should be about maintaining the integrity of the records, that you don't want an emulator to fuck with that, but you also want to have people to be able to have access. Anyway, but that is an interesting thing too, because you'll see a lot of speedrun games. They'll be like, well, you got to play the Wii U Virtual Console version of this game because it runs faster.
Yeah, and that is becoming a thing in certain cases. Because heck, the Super Game Boy, when you do Pokemon Red or Blue, every time that the color palette changes, you actually do lose like 2 frames because there's a little stutter as the palette changes every time you go from like Pallet Town to Route 1 or Route 1 to Viridian City.
Yeah, like it seems like depending on a lot of the consoles, because there's certain emulators that are really good, where they're okay with, but then because they'll say ZS and ES basically can never be used because it isn't accurate enough to the actual speed of the original console. Even though it's a great emulator, you can't use it. I think trying to think. Yeah, and also another thing to point out, I think that a lot of speedrun games, if they're popular enough, will have an emulator leaderboard and an original hardware leaderboard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's just kind of one of those things. It's really up to the community, and that's why I think what's so cool about speedrunning is that you can just be like, I kind of I'm interested in this game, and then go to a Discord server or website where they just have a huge community of people like posting tips and stuff. So. And it's kind of up to the community as a whole to decide what's legal and not. And yeah, so I would push communities I was a part of to allow emulation because, especially for games that are harder to find, Anyway, well, it was a good question, though.
Yeah, it's just like if you are sticking with the original hardware, it's just a way to artificially limit the pool of people allowed, and that artificially kind of props up people that already have records because maybe somebody's really, really good. They just don't have the access to get the things you need.
Yeah, and then at that point, it gets to be kind of BS. I mean, then you have people on Twitch saying, hey, send me money so I can buy a weird fucking capture card that works on this thing. Very cool. And that brings up another thing I had is AGDQ 2019 wrapped up. This last weekend. Did a lot of really, really cool runs.
And my boy Kizaron was doing a lot of not commentary work, but panel stuff.
Yeah, he didn't run anything.
He didn't run anything, yeah. But he was busy as crap.
Yeah. But it's just
Oh, he just got back home too because
yeah. I saw
issues.
he was having issues with flights. I saw too. No, yeah. There's only one Pokemon run I think in the entire thing, and it's being currently uploaded to YouTube. The VODs. They're really far behind for some reason.
Yeah, I
Which has
haven't
been
watched
kind
a
of
lot.
annoying. I watched
this
a
year.
really good run of Hollow Knight. I would recommend the Hollow Knight run that they do
Nice.
because it is mind-bogglingly insane
What
how
what are
good
the
this guy is
parameters?
at this super difficult game. Sorry?
What is it like? Did you have to learn, or did you have to get like all of the skills and everything, or is it just
It was a true ending finish game. So there is a point at the end of the game where you have an item. You need to beat the boss with an item in your inventory that like will unlock the final boss, basically.
Okay.
And then that was the ending or the final ending. So it was true ending. It's like an hour and 20 minutes, the speed run. It's really good though, because I mean, it is like, how are you this good at this game? Like, it is a hard fucking game, and he's just killing bosses in like 30 seconds, and it's just, yeah. So huge fan of that one. What else did I watch? I watched the Sonic Ball speed run.
Oh, I watched part of that too.
So I downloaded Sonic Ball because it's a free game. It's like a weird Sonic racing game, but it's like super memey. But it looked really fun to play actually. And the guy was talking about like how he's like speed runs all these other games, and he was like, I got way into this because I don't know, I was bored and I wanted to try all these weird things. So yeah, really fun. I'm trying to think of other ones I saw. I think Polygon had a pretty good list of good runs to watch over the month. There was a Darker Side Mario Odyssey run that I kind of want to watch because
Oh, nice.
they did an Odyssey last year, but it was just the like full game and not the 500, because that's the 500 shines ending game one. So that was like a 3-hour run or something. Here we go, 10 best speed runs. I got a good list here. They did a cool Portal race, I guess. I've seen that. If you haven't seen Portal speed run, it's pretty insane, like how quickly people move. So that's a good one. There's an N++ co-op run. N++ is really cool.
Yeah.
Half Coordinated did another run.
Oh, N++.
one-handed.
I am not personal friend, but I'm on a Discord server with one of the guys in that run.
There's they did I guess a Vice City run that was really cool. I've seen that speed run before, but I'm kind of excited to see it again. And then they did a Super Mario Sunshine 1v1 lockout bingo. I don't know.
Yes,
what
I
that
heard
is.
about that. Oh, okay. So
What
the
are
way
the
that
rules
works.
on that?
So lockout bingo is
Mhm.
right before the start of the run. They get a 5x5 bingo grid.
Got it.
The goal is to get, basically a bingo, so 5 in a
Got
row.
it.
But when one achievement is done by one of the two runners,
Yep.
it's locked out from the other person. So if you're not knowing what the other person is doing, you can only see it from the bingo grid, unless you've been working on this particular achievement, and then they get it before you.
Yeah.
You've then wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, I actually really like some of the so speedrunning has like recently pivoted a whole bunch towards having more of these weird meta games in games. Like weird like relay races or tag runs, or specifically like the
Randomizers too.
Link to the Past randomizer runs.
Yep.
Because it's kind of like I really love how it's a new way to experience old games and like have this fun and make it like more of a like competition type thing, instead of just everyone trying to get the fastest time on a leaderboard, but like live head-to-head competition stuff. So yeah, that's really fun that they're doing a lot more of that stuff. Yeah, speedrunning is cool, and I'm glad they made, I don't remember how much, 2 million some change, more than last year by 100,000.
I just saw it and now I lost it.
Anyway,
But
That's so cool, though. I always like how that originally came up, where they were like especially because I've actually been, not to like be that guy, but I have been watching the like AGDQs and stuff since I think like 2014, 2015, and like that was back when they were a lot smaller, and they had like someone come from like the Prevent Cancer Foundation. They're like,
Yeah.
you guys made a huge amount of money for us last year. Like, what the hell's going on here? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, oh man, because it's
2.39 million. Yeah.
2.4 basically.
Basically, yeah.
And apparently they made quite a bit, because during the Super Mario Odyssey 3-hour run, they challenged the people to get to 2 million before he finished his run, and I think they made like hundreds of thousands of dollars during that like couple hours. So
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. Like, way to go. And the Kill the Animals one, spoiler, which is insane because it never wins in Super Metroid. All right, I don't think we got much more time left today.
All right.
We've been on for a while here.
Yeah, I just have a tiny Twitter update.
Okay,
because
update.
Every now and then I'd like to check the person who has my @MayofMay, the Twitter handle I wanted.
Yeah, okay, and they're still using it, right?
Well, they hadn't used it since the 2nd of November 2015.
Wait, are they a Russian bot now?
No, well, they're Korean.
A Korean bot.
Russian bot.
Her name is Mijung Oh, and she's had conversations, so it's not something that 100% I think is a bot, although now that I'm looking, the stuff in 2015 looks like the account may have been hacked, because everything was linking to a website, www.mx5050.com.
Did the bio get changed to the like address of a Bible verse? And
There's no bio at all. But after not posting since November of 2015, and I'm like, maybe it'll just like die and go away. Now I'd not looked at this in a couple months, and it looks like there was a post on the 16th of November 2018 with some words in Korean,
Okay.
which translates to sunny weather, and there's a picture. But that's it. I'm like, okay,
so she's like 60.
no, she's probably like 25 looking at the picture. But that could be a picture from 2011, so maybe she's 33. Maybe she's about my age. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it kind of all comes around, and I have a tiny conspiracy to end our podcast with.
Okay, good.
So we've been noticing a large shift and a huge amount of depression, anxiety, and suicide rates amongst millennials, especially in the past 4 to 5 years. I'm wondering if there is some chemical component to that is targeting millennials in order to keep boomer rich people rich.
MK Ultra.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, that's literally what you're doing here.
It's not about turning the frogs gay. It's turning the snowflakes. It's melting the snowflakes.
I don't know. I think the boomers, when they want to make us depressed and kill ourselves, instead of putting chemicals in the water, they just elect an idiot for president.
Or they're just spiking my Mountain Dew.
TJ, you know how the people said that like birth rates are going down, and like everyone's being like, that didn't work on you.
No, it didn't. I've already brought into life more than
people.
I've taken out. Yeah.
That's good though, because they need to be coming from people like you, and not other awful people. If that makes sense.
I need to bring balance.
You need to teach your children well.
Yeah, and whichever one
my favorite artist would say
is taught the least well will take them out, and then they'll only have 2 children.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that you need to, before you vote, they need to have an IQ test. Is what I'm saying. I'm saying what we need is to not allow some people to vote.
Okay.
And only allow the people that I want to vote.
Yeah, so that's
right?
never been abused in the past. So
you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want, like, I'll just make it me. I'll do it all. Just give me some money.
Yeah. Just let me
100,000 a
vote.
year.
I'll be the
I
only
will
super
be the
delegate.
guy. I'll be the voter decider. No, I'll decide whether or not you get to vote. You have to give me your opinion, and if you have a Twitter account, you're automatically disallowed to vote.
Well, I can't vote.
Oh, same here. But I feel like
Yeah.
that would be a net good positive. If you've ever
Maybe.
posted
I guess
on
that would
if you've ever posted on
Disproportionately weight it to the
r/McDonald's-
very old and the very young.
Yeah, that's good. r/the Donald voters cannot.
Like, I don't know.
vote.
I don't know if modern day 18-year-olds are signing up for Twitter.
That's true. They're on the Snapchat. Oh, I hear they're going to like rainbow parties. And,
Yeah.
what is
I
it,
saw
the
this thing on
trail mix?
2020, and man, it seems super
They're
scary.
playing the knockout game.
Oh, that was real though. That
They're
was
doing
fun.
this thing called Jenkum. It was
Juuling.
invented in Africa. Can we talk? Oh, we can't talk about juuling. We'll save that for next week. But
You kind of have a couple times, but
Tell
that's fine.
me
We'll do it again
what
next week.
juuling is.
I'm not going to tell you what you know. What juuling? If you don't know what juuling is, you're not cool.
Oh,
That's
I
all
guess
I'm
I'm
saying.
not cool then.
Yeah,
Is it something
John,
to
you
do
found
with
the
Tide
picture.
Pods?
I did. Thank you. It's great. The addition of King Day to Day is great, but I will like to mention the ranking of characters in that is very wildly terrible. Misato and Asuka are the two waifus of mine, and they're ranked near the bottom, and I do not. It's kind of it's what has happened to me is when I was a young 14-year-old lad, Asuka was my waifu, and now that I'm a 33-year-old man, Misato is my waifu.
All right,
If that
join
makes
us.
sense.
Join us next week on Born in the '80s as we have our own waifu wars.
Waifu hour. I have the Masato Katsuragi body pillow. You know, it's. Does that? I'm sure that exists.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
of course,
Let me just
everything
look that
exists.
up. Let me just look that up. Misato body pillow.
If the question
then
is,
link-
does a certain type of body pillow exist? The answer is always yes.
And then
The
link it with our
answer-
Amazon affiliate link that we
Yeah.
don't have.
There's an Asuka body pillow on Amazon with her in some short pants. Looking very sexy. You know, I do want to mention that she is 14. So if you're not 14 buying that, it's weird. Misato's like 30, so it's all right. Anyway,
Oh, it's a little louder today.
yeah,
You're
this
fine.
sounds worse than usual. Did you find the "Take Me Home, Country Roads" version of this, Matt? You need to play it for us sometime. But anyway, I am John_Danger on Twitter, the awful hell website that we all live on. You can
Yeah.
find us on Twitch TV/Matt Haig Music, who's not an affiliate and never will be. And we
Fuck
stream
you.
episodes live, and you can go to bornthE80s.net, the website, to download episodes and send us comments.
And you can find me at Matt Haig Music on Twitter, the awful website, where all of our future governmental votes will be passed. We'll get rid of Congress and the House, and it'll just be a direct democracy via Twitter. And
No, it's going to be like on American Idol.
oh
You have
yeah,
to text- you have
text
to text your votes
483
in.
if you think that schools should be funded this year.
Yep. We'll say no.
And just look for Matt Haig Music on Spotify and just put it on repeat for your cats.
I'm sorry. We had a comment on Born in the 80s episode 260.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, I deleted it off the website. But the comment is from Adolf Hitler, and he wrote, "Hot diggity dog, let's run that train."
All right.
On Born in the 80s 260
Thank
final
you,
chapter
Mr.
2
Adolf.
prologue remix.
All right.
That
And-
comment was deleted for possibly having some sort of spam link in the name.
Awesome. I'm TJ. You can find me at May of May everywhere on the internet except for on Twitter, as we've previously discussed. That's at May of May 84. But more importantly, you want to talk to me, you come to the Discord. That's YOLO420.com/born in the 80s. All lowercase. Spell out the 80s. Right?
Yeah. Born
yeah.
in the 80s.
So I want to mention that comment has to do with the Born in the 80s 280 Final Chapter 2.0 Prologue Remix episode image, which is Natalie Dormer with a train coming out of her mouth. I believe we talked about finding weird Photoshop images of her at some point in that episode, so he wants to run that train. Adolf Hitler. I want to mention whoever you are. Adolf Hitler commented from lordoftherings.com at his URL with his email address of fbaggins@theshire.net.
It's that.
Can I get this? Should I restore this comment or should I delete it?
I think that's a valuable insight from our listener.
All right, it's restored. Legally, Matt Hag is the one who has restored the comment from Adolf Hitler on our website.
I just saw your thumbnail for our last episode, and I appreciate it.
Oh,
anyways,
yeah, pink sparkles. I don't know what this one's going to be about. Maybe giant women.
Snapchat.
later, skaters.
Giant fish-eyed women. I could probably get an image from one of those VR movies and make it PG, and then we'll get more clicks.
Just put little emojis over everything.